I'm a coffee guy. So it's like, yeah, I shouldn't be drinking a coffee at 9 p.m. though.
I was just about to say it's a little late, my boy.
Indeed, it is.
What's good, Tradeblock family? I'm Cale Bryan. I'm the guy who makes sure that anything that goes wrong, and we're gonna get you right.
And I'm the guy who steers the ship and honestly mainly just tries to not do too many things to make Kale's job harder.
Well, I'll say this: whenever we were kicking it back at Kelsey's crib house back in the day, I never imagined you would bring this much stress to my life. Here at Tradeblock.
Shout out to Young Streams one time. And all I can say is I'm sorry, bro. Thank you for everything you do. Oh, man.
Man, but okay, for real, let's get to it. We're here today to talk about the launch of Tradeblock's Trusted Trader program. What is it and what makes the motivation behind it?
Man, so first off, the Trusted Trader Program is a new initiative we're launching where traders who have a proven track record of being trustworthy and dependable are allowed to direct ship to their trade partners. Um, direct ship means fewer costs, and basically we said, hey, let's figure out a way to cut costs and then pass as much of those savings as we can along to, our best customers who are, our trusted traders. So all of that is a probably overly long-winded way of saying trades are about to get 40% cheaper for trusted traders. But before I get into the details of the program, I actually wanted to really just give kind of a quick backstory on the program to, help you and everybody in the audience, better understand the why behind it. So, I was out for a walk a couple months ago, actually, which is one of the things I do when I'm, trying to decompress, release some stress. Works sometimes, a lot of times doesn't work. A lot of times I just end up thinking about work anyways, which is what happened on this day. So, I was out there walking and I was just thinking for the billionth time, it feels like, man, like what can we do to help people trade more? And the question I ended up asking myself was like, okay, fundamentally, what are the biggest things that get in the way of people trading? And one of the obvious answers that came to me was like, oh, the cost of the trade itself. So then I was like, all right, well, what could we do to like drastically reduce the cost of trading? Like not like a dollar or two cheaper, like way cheaper. And like I said, given that shipping is by far the biggest cost of facilitating a trade, there was really only one answer to that, which was, oh, cut one leg of shipping, let people direct ship, at least the people who have, a proven track record of being trustworthy, and have earned that privilege. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's where the idea started. And before I shut up, I'll just say this: like we started this business because one, we love sneakers. But two, we still remember the times when, even buying Jordans at retail price was out of the question because money was so tight. So, I think one of the beauties of trading is that it's, a way of helping people get their hands on their grails without having to spend a ton of money. So I just really want to get back to that focus on, affordability and accessibility, especially right now, because, a lot of people are really struggling out there. So ever since that walk, I've just really, really been obsessed with that idea of like, man, what is everything we can do to make trades more affordable?
Whew, my boy, that was a lot. Are you done? No.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. I get hyped when I like start to talk about this stuff. So, and yeah, I just think it's really important and helpful for people to, not only understand the what, but the why, right? Like really understand the thought process behind these sort of decisions that we make. So I'm just trying to do a better job of that than I have in the past, right? A little bit better every day.
Nah, that's real, bro. And I actually didn't know that, full story just until now for myself. So it was dope to hear that. But let's keep it moving. I want to ask you the main questions that I think everyone's going to have, which are, number one, what happens if there's an issue with the shoes I got from someone who shipped? Like, what if someone sends me the wrong shoe or it's the used shoe and I was supposed to get it new? And isn't the authentication and QC check the main thing I think that I'm actually paying for?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get you a hot take here, which is like I'd say no. I don't think that authentication is the main thing we're paying for. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, what are we really paying companies like StockX or Goat or even TradeBlock for? And I'd argue it's not authentication. Actually, it's not even trust, right? It's actually peace of mind is what we pay for. The peace of mind that if something goes wrong, you'll ultimately be made whole. And there's a company you can hold accountable to make sure that one way or another, my shoe gets lost, I get a fake, whatever the case may be. I'm either getting my shoe back or I'm getting the value of my shoe back. That is what we pay for, right? And when I was on that walk, I realized, man, there's other ways to give you that peace of mind, even when we don't touch the shoes ourselves. So the way that it works with the Tradeblock Trusted Trader program is that when you trade with a trusted trader, you get $200 worth of protection just off the rip by default. And then if you want to add additional protection, it just costs you 3 cents per dollar, right? So let's say you're trading for a shoe, it costs $300, and you want to say, hey, if anything goes down, I want to make sure I'm protected for the full value of this shoe. 200 you get by default because you're trading with a trusted trader. Then you got to make up the $100 difference, 3 cents per dollar. That means it would only cost you an additional $3 to fully protect that shoe. And basically, if you purchase that protection, honestly, you really don't even need to think about or worry about, man, do I get the wrong shoe? Like, is there going to be an issue? Is it going to be a fake? Because that peace of mind is already guaranteed by you purchasing that coverage.
Okay. I mean, so it's kind of similar to the Tradeblock secure, protection. So can you tell me a little bit more on how those things like relate to each other since they're, two different?
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. So it's the same basic idea, and that's kind of actually what inspired it. The only difference is that TradeBlock Secure specifically protects you when a shipment gets lost in transit, because obviously we can't control what UPS does, and we can't control what their drivers do behind the scenes when the cameras are off. TradeBlock Secure is more so for shipments that get lost in transit, whereas the trade protection that you can add to a trusted trade would be for issues specifically with the actual shoes you traded for. So like QC or authentication issues.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's actually something that came up when I was talking to the support agents, about the program. So that's definitely good to know. One last question, brother. What are the criteria for earning the trusted trader status? Like, how do you decide who gets it and who doesn't?
Yeah, so the first thing I say is like we've been running this business for almost 5 years now, and I was looking at the numbers the other day. I don't know if you knew this. There's been more than 250,000 shoes that have been traded on TradeBlock in that time, which is a wild number. So I just
It's a
say that
lot.
to say like we've been able to build up a pretty good understanding of how people move on the platform and specifically what makes people more trustworthy and reliable than others. I'm not going to share all the exact specific criteria because I don't want to give the whole game away from jump. But I can say that one, you have to have at least completed 3 flawless trades, no issues, and then from there, the main things that we're looking at is one, how often have you failed to ship, causing a trade to be canceled? Two, how often have you had QC issues, even if it was honest mistake or a defect or something that you didn't disclose ahead of time? And three, how often have you had authenticity issues, right? And we have a very, very, very low bar for those 3 things. So we look at your whole history of trades, we look at how many times of those things happen, and we basically say, okay, that has to be basically a never to very, very rarely, something that's happened to you in the past in order for you to earn this trusted trader badge. So as long as all of those are very rare things for you, you will more than likely earn trusted status.
Okay, got it. Well, you told me to keep us at 5 minutes, and you use half the time to talk about your walk. So, parting shots before we let people get back to their days.
Man, well, for the same reason that I told that story in the first place, I want to end by just going back to our why for doing this, man. Like, there's been a lot of times in my life that sneakers have been really an outlet for me, when times are hard, and I just really want Tradeblock to help play that role for other people today, right? Like, even when, and like I said, especially when times are hard. Of course, with all this tariff stuff that's going down, there's a good chance we're gonna, keep seeing higher prices, like not only on shoes, but on gas, on groceries. I just bought, 18 eggs from the store. It was more than $10. It's just insane to me. So yeah, like, prices of everything are going up, right? So my goal at the end of the day is pretty simple. Like, I want to do everything that we can to bring our prices down while all the other prices, in your life are going up. Obviously, that's not going to be easy, and I'm sure there's plenty of things per usual that we're not going to get perfect on day one. So, I hope the trade block family can give us a little bit of grace. But if we can cut our fees by almost half, and make trading really an outlet and a refuge for collectors who have held us down all these years at a time where they're really feeling the pinch financially, To me, that's worth all the stress, all the long nights, all the challenges, that I'm sure we're going to run into as we perfect this new system and this new program.
Hey, bro, that's real. And you're lucky that I really rock with that mission too, because I'm gonna, be the one catching these strays in the customer support email when something goes wrong.
You ain't lying though.
It's cool. It's cool. We have put a lot of time and thought into this program, so I'm excited for it to roll out and start saving some people some bread.
Yes, sir. You already know, brother. I appreciate you everything you do. Let's get it, and hopefully people like this program. We'll see you guys on the block. Happy trading.
Peace.